I'm sure you've had those clients where they just kind of blurt out and word vomit out all of this information inside your sessions, and you're like, what do I do with all of this information? And it gets quite overwhelming, and you want to gain more clarity when it comes to what they actually want to prioritize and need your help with right at this very moment. Because having that clarity is super vital. Because if you yourself, as a hypnotist, don't have clarity and are very confused as to what your client wants, how are you going to guide them? Right. And so, one of the things that we use in advanced conversational hypnosis is using something called hypotheticals, right? And this is especially useful for clients who are in this type of conflict and you kind of don't know really what's going on or what's more important to them. A hypothetical question is something that can give you the clarity and give them clarity as well as to what they want. It gives you clarity to help you, direct the conversation at a certain way towards their goals, obviously, and it helps them gain clarity for themselves as to what they actually want. Because as humans, we don't always like to admit what exactly it is that we want. And so, and this is very much contextual based, right? It's very hard to come up with the 10 best hypothetical questions. That's not a thing. But for example purposes, this happened in one of the recent ACH trainings that I hosted and taught was the client had this conflict, right, between actually avoiding conflict in relationships as well as feeling supported. Like the conversation was around that topic. And so in order for us to gain clarity with where to go with the session, I suggested to my student giving a hypothetical, and the example I gave her was that, or I gave my student, which I asked the client, the practice client, was okay. So if you were to have all the conflicts in relationships, but feel supported to voice your opinions during those conflicts, would you be okay with that? And so, listen to that again. If you were to have conflicts in your relationships, but feel supported in expressing your opinions, would you be okay with that? And the client answered, yes, I would be okay with that. And what that showed us was the fact that it wasn't really the conflict that he had the most trouble with. Excuse me. He had trouble more with feeling supported. So when we asked that question and he said, yes, I would be okay with feeling supported, even though I have a lot of conflict, that shows us that feeling supported was more valuable to him and we directed the conversation there. So that's how you would use something like a hypothetical. And this is really just good for mostly gaining clarity for both parties, you as a hypnotist and your client. And it really also helps you direct the conversation into the root cause. And it will reveal a lot more information as to what the root cause of your client's problem actually is. So try that out and let me know how that goes.